MPs, we can construct roads. My dear, I would have done that.
Meaning you pay, meaning you pay. If you're in Jamaica, you go on, look on your man at you. One at that one, the real of a sit down and I'm going to buy your deck again. You know, come on, you walk on your mamma don't whine and you want it. Yeah, if you're living in Jamaica, can you not see that to a mamma or my body? No matter.
Honorable, you are welcome to Dodowa.
Thank you so much.
As the sitting MP, I would like to know what is your motivation to contesting the seat again?
All right. Thank you so much. First of all, greetings to the people of Shai-Osudoku, especially my chiefs and queen mothers, and some of the opinion leaders within the Shai-Osudoku district. Yes, you indeed said what motivated me. In fact, everybody knows the reason of my contest to become the MP of Shai-Osudoku. I wasn't the MP, but my late won the primaries, and we all know that he lost. So, being the backbone for my late husband, I want to what? Continue his dreams. And I want to leave a legacy behind so that wherever he is, he'll be happy that whatever he left for me, in fact, I've been able to do it to the extreme. So my motivation, is to serve the people of Shai-Osudoku. And alongside your interview, if I said to serve the people, I've indeed served the people of Shai-Osudoku. I want to develop Shai-Osudoku to the extraordinary. I want to leave a legacy because of my late husband. And
Okay,
I want to send
starting
a
you.
signal to the people of Shai-Osudoku that I'm in just to continue the dreams of my late husband.
As the sitting MP, what are the things that you can pinpoint that through you have done to the benefit of Shai-Osudoku?
All right. I'm really grateful. Mostly when people want to interview me, I ask them, do you have time? Because my project that I'm going to mention will take a lot of time. I'll say this is my 6 years in parliament and in opposition. I've done so well. And so if you permit me and give me enough time to mention what I've done so far. When we come to education, education aspects. I've done a lot within the education aspects. I've roofed 6 teachers accommodation at Papa.
Okay.
3 units teachers accommodation at Agbekochepu. 3 unit classroom block at Nyapienya. MP's education fund over 3,000 students has benefited from MP's education fund. The education directorate, you sometimes see them, they patrol within the schools around the constituency. You have to empower them to always be at the field to monitor the students. So I always release funds to them, and which I release 10,000 Ghana cedis, 100 million to them to do the monitoring. The library, the only library, the Dodowa library, I renovated that library at a cost of, I'll get you the figure, I just want to be back, over billions of cedis I spent on that library. I get it. When it comes to the BEC students, all the BEC students within the Shai-Osudoku district, I provide them with masks, nose masks, sanitizers, and what have you. As I'm speaking to you now, I have 20 of my students who are studying in abroad. They are doing their PhD in abroad, fully sponsored by me. When you go to the Dodowa zone, there was uncompleted building which they came to me. They brought almost a budget of 30 million. I released funds of 5,000 Ghana cedis to them to make sure that they complete the building. And God willing, the building has been complete. I've also, given a lot of the schools. I've given the dual decks to some selected schools within the Shai. When you go to Ositech and Ganata Secondary, I've equipped their lab with computers.
When you say you've equipped some of the schools,
Yeah.
Can you please mention those schools?
You mean the decks?
Yes.
Or when you go to when you go to New Mercy, the school there, I've given them schools. Asebi, I've given them decks. Sorry, Nyapienya school, I've given them decks. Mampo Shai, I've given them decks. Congo, I've given them desks. Volivo, I've given them desks. A lot of the schools, I want to be specific, a lot of the schools I've given them desks. I'll provide you with the name of the schools later. And then the desktops, when you go to Odumse area, when you go there, I've given a lot of the schools computers.
Okay, so fast forward on education.
I have 22 lecture areas. I have given all the lecture areas tricycles and motorbikes to empower the wards. I've built a school at Rama Metro Mass. I also have a hospital at Dodowa, Odumse ward.
The hospital, is it your personal?
I lobbied from Qatar Charity Foundation. I lobbied the project from Qatar Charity Foundation, which I have the project there. And I'm constructing a borehole there. When you go there today, you see that the borehole is there. If you go to, I've done a lot of boreholes. Even recently, about a week ago, I'm also constructing a new borehole at Agobeda. So I've done a lot of things. I mean, when it comes to agriculture, I subsidize chemicals for farmers. I have given the farmers Wellington boots, hose, and then I've also been able to plow for a lot of the farmers within the Shai-Osudoku district. I also subsidize fertilizers to a lot of our farmers. I brought in Soko, which is a bank, to make sure that they will give some of our members loan. Unfortunately,
Honorable, I'm not cutting you, but when you said you subsidize for you lobbied for fertilizers.
No, I said I subsidize.
You subsidized.
Yes.
Is it to the entire Shai-Osudoku, or maybe just the Osudoku or the Shai?
Both selected. I mean, you cannot attend. You cannot attend to. You can even attest to the fact that we've had various MPs, NDCs, past DCs. When they were in government, when they were in power, by then their party was in power. We had an MP that by then the DC was from the same party, I mean NDC. I mean, they couldn't resign. If they had done a lot of things within the Shai-Osudoku, I wouldn't have been sitting here struggling. So when I hear people saying that MP Chuwe, I mean, MP in opposition, when people do things, I mean, you appreciate. When you go to Oduma, say, I have a toilet project there, 6-seater with a shower facility. When you go to Zongo, I have 4-seater toilet there with a shower facility. When you go to Dodowa, I have 8-seater toilet there. I mean, what are they talking about? If you give me the time, I know you put, I have given a lot of street lights to our assembly members. Are you getting? When you go to the water and sanitation, I've extended water to a lot of the communities. Lawe Kope, go to Dodowa post office. I've rented a chief's compound for them, which I pay every month. I pay every month. When you go to the district hospital, the only eye center there, I sponsored that eye center. Dr. Bryson came to me that the 9th district hospital, they don't have an eye center. So they bought a budget and I supported them with it. And like I said, I've done a lot of boreholes. I've done a lot of water extensions to some various communities. I've also extended electrification to a lot of, go to Aibon today. If you go there, ask them who extended light to them. Go to Adakope, ask them who extended light to them. Go to Apese, ask them who extended light to them. Go to Finger of God. Go to Dodowa Zongo. I've extended a lot of light to go to Makati Kope, to over 60 communities within the Shai-Osudoku district. When it comes to, I mean, the youth, employment. Recently, Dodowa Asuchari their taxi rank, or even the church station, I was able to, I mean, youth employment. So the youth that want to do their handy jobs, I mean, those who want to learn hairdressing, those who want to learn how to sew, I mean, I was able to train them. I identified some madams. I gave it to them, about 75 or so to the madams. And each member, I pay 1,000 Ghana. Each member, I pay 1,000 Ghana. After their training, I was able to supply them with machines and hair dryers so that they can also start a business with it. We've also trained a lot of people into soap making, pastries, how to make liquid soap, what have you. When you go to Asuchari Jansen, I've even bought them a machine that today they use to prepare key soap, the machine that they use. You know, to how to cut the shape of the key soap. They came to me with a budget which I've sponsored them. My dear, when it comes to party support, I've done so much. Today, the party office, since 1992, I mean, you cannot boast of any party office. The party has been, we were having MPs who by then NDC was in government. They couldn't build a party office. But me, MP in opposition, I've been able. I mean, so when I hear people don't love the party more than some of us. That project there and the property in which the project is on was my late property. I have kids. You could see, you can take it. I have 5 kids. If I came because of my kids, my dear, all these things that I've done, I wouldn't have, trust me, because I've invested so much. And sometimes I even have to sell my late husband property. I sold a lot of property. When we had the lockdown during the COVID, I had to sell some of the properties because one of these days, I'll give you Akando's number, the ranking, because he said he wants the local people to interview him. I was asking because he was fighting the MPP over the COVID fund. And it's sad to see most of our members on the platform, our MPs took COVID fund and they cannot account for it. I mean, because of politics. See what we are doing to ourselves. So you interview, we will not give, not even a penny, not even a single Veronica bucket. But I was able to give more than 10,000 sanitizers and nose masks to
I would
some
want us
selected.
to have a swift shift to the road network in Shai-Osudoku.
Okay. I've done a lot of reshape. I've asked questions on the floor, which I'll be giving you the videos very soon. On the floor, as MP in opposition. I mean, in Parliament, there are procedures you have to follow. So the only thing you can do is that call the minister on the floor, because I knew very well that the Dodowa Akweley Road was awarded to a contractor before the MPP took over. The Asutari roads were awarded to the contractor before NDC took over. The Volivo Road, which because of the Volivo Bridge, you could see that it's part of the package. So we knew that if the NPP has taken over, they will do the project so that they can involve the roads, which was also a package within the Volivo Bridge. But unfortunately, we are all seeing what is happening. If I ask a question on the floor, at the end of the day, it comes back to the assembly. They will say your MP has had. So what we can do to help is and make sure that some of the places that you think they should be reshaped, they will shape. So you could see that they've done a lot of reshaping within the enclave. But trust me, if you do reshape with gravels and it rains, I mean, you come back to square zero. Are you getting me? The Asutari Road, we've also had an engagement with some of the companies within the Shai-Osudoku district. If you go to jail, which is Golden Exotic, my letter is there. You go to Fujian, who deals with tilapia and what have you, my letter is there. If you go to this Lantin, they are into this soya milk, my letter is there. If you go to Shine Fields and water, almost all the companies, even the quarries, almost all the quarries, I have my letters there, because I sometimes ask myself, we have quarries within the Shai-Osudoku. Why do we lack? Our roads are not mutual. And what is, I don't understand. So I wrote letters to them. And indeed, their explanation. I mean, if you have a house and you want to rent, you come into agreement, right? That I'll prepare everything. Yours is to pay rent. When there is damage, I will foot. Or if there is a damage, depending on the agreement you go into. Are you getting it? But it looks as if during their package, which is the quarries, because they think that they pay royalties to the assembly and some of the chiefs within the shop, they think that is all. I don't know that they didn't include the package, because as your social responsibility, your corporate social responsibility, if a company comes to a community, are you getting me? As their social responsibility, they have to at least do the needful. You have to also help the community grow. And that is why I'm glad to mention Golden Exotic. When you go to a lot of
Honorable, if I understand you right, it seems to the Osudoku enclave, the companies there do some corporate social responsibilities as compared to the Shai. Am I right?
Oh, I'm not saying they do. You see, the Shai, I would say when this came to existence, this company, what is the name? Afcons. During during the railways when they were constructing them, there was a lot of problems. They caused a lot of problems, which led to a lot of people vacating from their houses, and people were compensated. During the compensation, we had a lengthy chat with them to help the community, which is the Kodiabe, to get a toilet facility, and indeed they did it for them. But they should go the extra mile. I always appreciate Golden and Salty because I've noticed they've done a lot to the Osudoku enclave. The only thing that I would say they've not invested so much is our road network. And now I believe that because they have heavy trucks that passes through the road, so we are in touch with them so that they can do what they can help. And recently, God being so good, when the volleyball roads was in a very deplorable state, we wrote to them to help us. And indeed, today, as I'm speaking to you now, they are working on the volleyball road, which people are claiming ownership. We should stop that.
Okay.
We should stop that.
My next thing I would like to inquire from you is Dodowa to Ayukuma. Recently, on the 13th of March 2023, in the hours of 7 p.m. upwards, just by Mercy Oil, there is this potholes there that on this very day, as I mentioned the very date, a sprinter knocked down a motor rider, which you can have a look at the videos on your screen at the moment. And currently, someone lost his life. So you could see that there are numerous of potholes on this way. When you get to Givers also, there you see potholes there. And these are causing a lot of accidents on the way. Like, what do you think could be done for the betterment of this road network within our enclave?
Thank you so much. In fact, if MPs we can construct roads, my dear, I would have done that because roads are a priority. Recently, I decided to help the Osuwe road. My dear, if I tell the amount of money I spent within some stretch, I'm not even a bigger distance, some kilometers of road I constructed using gravel. I spent so much. But the Ayekuma, like you said, my dear, those places, we have the DC who also happens to live within the Ayekuma enclave. I have a very good rapport with the DC. Are you getting? But what I'm saying is that he's also financially constrained because of the challenges he's also going through. Me, I understand him because I know what he's going through. There's a lot of companies who has been awarded a contract, he has not paid, and they sent the assembly to court, and the assembly has been instructed to pay those companies. And I believe that is why he's financially, he's not stable. So, but I'll plead with the DC, my dear, that enclave, like you said, the Igbo enclave, that is where his house is, and that is where the assembly is. Are you getting me? What I know for sure was that our tractor, which happens to reshape some of the roads, was faulty, called spot. So the DC told me that they are trying to repair the tractor so that they can come back to the road to work on.
Okay.
But it's long overdue, my dear. It's long overdue because we have a lot of potholes. We have gravels, quarries within the constituency. Me, the former DC, when I wrote letters to the gravel companies to release some of their waste dust to repair some of the roads, the former DC told them not to because I'm the MP in opposition and he is the rep for the district.
Reference to what you said, do you have evidence to it?
I have evidence to it. So
okay.
I'm saying that potholes that we see is the responsibility of the assembly to make sure that they work on the road.
Okay. Now,
because their party is in power. So they have to help me to be able to help the people of Shai-Osudoku. And I know for sure that 2020, I always tell people, you can accuse me if my party is in power and I'm not performing in terms of the road. Because the only thing I can do is to make sure that you notice that when you were coming, the Ganata Road, if I tell you the letters we wrote to Ghana Highways, when they were coming to do the road, I knew MTN was part of it because as their social response, they use yes, it's underground. So they do that. So afterwards, they try to help us with some of the roads. So when they were doing the roads, in fact, we spoke to them so that they can help with the adjoining communities. And that is how come my road, you see, my road is still not, because I want to see to it that people's roads are being tarred before I can think of mine. And that is why people come and accuse you. Even the people around, they say, Honorable, you being the MP, look at your roads. I said, no, let me satisfy the ordinary people. If I satisfy them and they are happy, I can come back to work on
Thank you very much, Honorable. My next thing I would like to inquire from you is, using Ayikuma as an example, you realize that even in Harmattan season, almost the entire Ayikuma and its environs is getting flooded, coupled with other communities. What do you think could be done for the betterment of these communities within our enclave as far as poor drainage is concerned?
All right, thank you, my dear. Ayikuma is being flooded because of the hills. You could see that they are now building. And who gives them the permit to build? It's assembly. My dear, you give people the permit, at the end of the day, we've not seen anything yet. We've not seen anything yet. Because all their waste will come back to the road. And that is what we are saying. So I'm pleading with the DC. They should sit up and make sure that, I don't know who released their lands to them. But if we don't take care, the DC doesn't take a decision, a bold decision, the entire Dodowa will be flooded when it rains. So I believe I've spoken about this severally, that Ayikuma is being flooded and we don't have gutters around. We don't have gutters. Are you getting it? So until we do the gutters and give those people the permit to operate, if not, we'll come back to square one. Because those people that are building also took permits from the assembly. And who releases the permit? It's the assembly. So they should really look at it. If not, Dodowa will be flooded when it rains. But in fact, on a more serious note, on the roads network within the Shire, I've done my best to the extent that I even wrote to Ibrahim Mahama to help us work on the road. Ibrahim Mahama sent us one of his contractors to come and inspect some of the sites, which we did. And he said, as for my machines, they are there. What I have to do as MP is to fuel the machine, which I was prepared to do that. The only challenge we were looking at is for the people to provide us with the gravel, the materials that they will use on the road. My dear, I've written to a lot of companies. I'm yet to receive response as to whether they are giving. They want to sell the gravels to us. If someone has released such machines for us to work on our roads, and I have to also fuel the machine as my responsibility as the MP, why not our chiefs and the owners within the gravel pit, why won't they release the materials so that we can work on it? And then before we can also work on it, the DC must give us a permit. I wrote to the DC. He told me that he has to seek permission from his boss, which is the regional minister. I'm here to get the permit. I'm here to get the materials from the gravel pit, which we've written to them. As I'm speaking to you now, they are yet to release the gravels to us to work on the road. My dear, you see, this work we are doing as MPs, it's not one man's job. We have to come, it should be a collective decision. If not, Shai-Osudoku cannot develop. The chiefs must come in, the opinion leaders must come in, the assembly must come in, and then the MP should also get involved. If not, and we leave it that it should be the responsibility of the government, and we are looking at the assembly. This thing you cannot do it at Kumasi. Otuvo will call you to order right now. So I'm pleading with the chiefs within the Shai-Osudoku. During the Mayen festival, I went there and I told them, I'm pleading with, they should come, because there is no unity within our chiefs. They should come together so that we can fight. They should write to the assembly, because the land belongs to them. You have every right to instruct the assembly that our road network within the Shai-Osudoku district is not good, and we want a response within the twinkle of an eye. We have the right to write to the quarries, the chiefs, to the quarries, and task them to release some of their waste product to be able to reshape some of the roads. But if you say MP's job, my dear.
My last question is, should the nod be given to you in the next coming election, what is the new thing that you think you will be able to do to the good people of Shai-Osudoku?
Thank you so much. You see, I've touched bases on a lot of things. Education sector, I've done a lot. When it comes to social fire service, these are some of the education I've done. Agriculture, I've done a lot. Water and sanitation and health, I've done a lot. Rural electrification project, human capital and business development, social support, party support, security and fire prevention, parliamentary support, traditional support, sports, official visits, the new season, and then support to the constituency and what I could do. My dear, I've touched base. My priority now is to make sure that I work on the roads within the Shai-Osudoku district. My priority now is to make sure that the youth within the Shai-Osudoku district get employed. And it's something I've done. Last year alone, I was able to send 43 of our youth into the military. 42 of our youth into the military. I've sent you their their details. And then 5 people into police. 5 people into police, 28 into local government, my dear. I have sent 10 people to Ghana ambulance, which I have proofs. I'm just not saying it. To Ghana ambulance. Fire service, I've touched base on that one. Military, immigration, I've also touched base on that. GES, I have over 40 of my students whom initially they were yet to be posted, but through me they've been posted to various schools and they are teaching them.
I would like to know something, that when you were filing your nomination, I understand that that's on an allege that you were supposed to file it in the NDC Shai-Osudoku Constituency and MP's office, but rather you filed in Accra. What motivated that?
Thank you so much for the question. Yes, I indeed filed I went to region to file. In fact, you could see that I was prepared to file my nomination within the constituency, which is at the party office. That day, in fact, I invited all the women executives. They were all delegates. We marched to the party office. What happened was that, in fact, there has been a decision which was taken by some few members of the constituency, the Shai-Osudoku constituency, the constituency executives. If you want to elect an election director, my dear, this is not my first term in parliament. This is my second term. And if God willing, inshallah, I will also travel to my third term, which is a done there, I know I'm winning. But to elect election director, it should be a decision taken by all the constituency executives. We have 28 constituency executives. So if 2 or 3 or 4, maximum 7 people should take a decision, such a decision on behalf of the executives, I don't think it's right. You recall that there was a memo which was circulated that there will be a reconciliation for all the NDC members. We want a united front going forward to 2024 election. So the chairman organized a meeting, to reconcile all members. So in fact that day, chairman himself can attest to the fact I wasn't well. I even called him because I was prepared for the program. But unfortunately, I wasn't well. So when chairman came, he was here when the doctor came and was attending to me.
Okay, thank you so much. But on the 22nd day of March 2023, that was when Dr. Mr. White also filed the nomination at the party's office. But it was heard there that because of something which cannot attest to, you and your team closed the party office. What is the truth to that?
Okay, before I will come to your question, I'm not done with the reason why I filed my nomination at region. And that's why I'm saying that 2 or 3 people took a decision by selecting an election director, which comprises of the chairman, secretary, organizer, women organizer, and some few of their members. So the other members wasn't in support. So they wrote a petition to national and then copied region. My attention was drawn that region overruled that they should go back and do the needful, which is they should consult all the executives and then have a meeting. There should be a consensus decision that indeed we want this person to be the election director. So when region communicated to them, we were hoping that when they come, they'll do the needful. Only to realize that the day of my filing, the person that they've raised concerns against him was the same person to receive my nomination form. And if I should hand over my nomination form to him, meaning I've accepted him as my election director, which is obviously no. So when I got there, we told the chairman, and the chairman wasn't there though, so we told the secretary, the organizer, and some few members that they should excuse us with the election director so that we can hand over, which I have the video here. If I finish, I'll forward it to you. And they said they won't, they cannot. So if they cannot allow him to go out and they recognize him as the election director, I will not recognize him as the election director. So I decided to go to region and file my nomination. Okay. And then again, to come back to what you just said, I've never closed any party office. The party office has been there. In fact, ever since I built that party office single-handedly, I pay workers there. I have 3 workers. I have the receptionist, the cleaner, and then there's a guy there who patrols there, which is the security. Every month I pay. I spend close to 3,000 Ghana cedis in salaries.
So, reference to what you said, it means you haven't closed down the party office.
I haven't closed down the party office. And then secondly, that day you could see that it was raining. So the cleaner, the receptionist is not well. So we've given him some time off to get herself healed. So it's the cleaner who takes care of the party office. And I also noticed that sometimes he leaves the key under there's a container, he leaves the key there. So sometimes when Joseph go there, they obviously knows that the key is there. So they'll pick it up. But I told them that if we don't take it, people will take it. If people should notice that that is where we've been keeping the keys, they can take the keys and then steal something in the office. And my dear, I invested so much in that office. Are you getting? So I wouldn't allow, to allow people to just go in there and then steal things there. No. So I told the lady that if she cannot be at the office until 12 maximum 2 o'clock, then she should leave the keys with the security man. And these keys has been kept with my security man for all this. So if Evans Echo ask them, if they'll go for meetings, they only send Okada guy to come for the keys from the security man. Are you getting? Which obviously Jones also called the lady to come for the keys. So the lady came for I asked the security, they said they came for the keys almost around 8:45 to 9 o'clock.
Honorable, thank you so much. But at this very juncture, I would like you to use this very moment to speak to the good people of Shai-Osudoku.
Thank you so much. Like I said, I have a lot to do as far as Shai-Osudoku is concerned. I have to extend electricity, I have to extend water. Now my priority is to make sure that the people of Asebi get water. My priority is to make sure that people of Sota and its enclaves get water. My priority is to make sure that a lot of people get connected to electrification. And so I want to tell the people of Shai-Osudoku, I'm pleading with them. I'm pleading with them. I've done a lot to the people of Shai-Osudoku. If they should give me a nod, I'm going to change Shai-Osudoku. Because within even the tenureship of my position as the MP of Shai-Osudoku and also an opposition MP, you could see what I've done. And hopefully, God willing, in 2024, NDC should come to power. My dear, I'll transform Shai-Osudoku to the next level. I'm going to do a lot for the people of Shai-Osudoku. I'm going to touch base. And the people of Shai, it will get to a point that there will be unemployment issue within the Shai-Osudoku district will be a thing of the past. I've been able also to touch some individuals. I mean, when you came to in the morning, this one guy, you've not seen anything. I get a lot of visitors. People come with their personal issues, which I also want. I have to help. So I'm pleading with them. Should I be giving the nod, my dear? Based on what I've done previously, I have to continue the good works I've done for the people of Shai-Osudoku. I've not yet, and they've given me a name which is Show Mama, Show Mama. My show hasn't started. My show starts when the party comes to power. And when the party comes to power, whatever I've not been able to touch, I believe and I have that hope. And with the spirit of the ancestors within the Shai-Osudoku district, the ancestors on this land can attest to the fact that I've worked for them. And I believe on the 13th of May, all the ancestors on this land, based on the fact that I've worked for them, they will help people to come and vote for me. And I know I'll be crowned the winner coming 13th May, so that I'll continue the good work I've done for the people of Shai-Osudoku.
Honorable, thank you so much.